Is Chantel around to do a Santa chant? Where's Chantel?
Chantel, she be here.
All right, we're going to have Chantel come up and close us out with the Santa chant just because we're going to get rained out. We are out here in numbers and I love it. I love it. This is amazing.
I mean, come on, medic. Be smarter. No.
So we can do a couple chants. So when I say Marcus, you say Golden. Marcus. Golden. Marcus. Golden. Marcus. Golden. Marcus. Golden. When I say George, you say Floyd. George. Floyd. George. Floyd. George. Floyd. George. Floyd. When I say Cordell, you say Handy. Cordell. 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 Handy. When I say fool me, you say leave. Fool me. 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 Leave. You know, I wanted to make sure that I got to Fool Me Leave because who we had out with us, the newly formed, reorganized Lungs for Black Lives. So we're going to work. We're going to put in work with them. Glad to see them back. I didn't get a chance to inform them about this, but we will see them out, and I'm so happy to be able to work together and organize with them in solidarity. So Chantel, can you close us out with a Sada chant? Thank you.
Because Black Lives, they matter here.
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 Man, let's just close it out. I'm kind of scared of the storm myself. We got this big pole right here. Look like it's going crazy. I've been monitoring that pole. So, all right, y'all, just repeat after me. We have a duty. Hold on, I'm going to tell y'all what's up with this right quick because I didn't get a chance to do this the other day. So, Assata Shakur is Tupac's aunt, who was a former Black Panther and is currently living in Cuba peacefully. She believes in radical love along with liberation and justice, and so do we with Black Lives Matter. So just repeat after me. We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
Because we have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
Because we ain't got nothing to lose but our chains.
We ain't got nothing to lose but our chains.
All right, let's blow it out. Let's see if they can hear us in Minneapolis, y'all. Who got some lungs? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
Because we have nothing to lose but our chains.
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 All power to the people, man. Thank you. I love you. Make sure you grab some sandwiches so you can get some nourishment, water, and then make sure you get some sleep because guess what? It ain't over. Tomorrow we'll be at WCCO station on Nicollet Mall in Minneapolis at 4 o'clock. What time? 4 o'clock. Where? WCCO. Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Did you see if there was?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the thank you.
Yeah, tired.
this event. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yo, hello.
No.
Live. Okay, I'll do it. Thank you. Gotcha. Yep. Hey, this is Nico from Unicorn, right? We are live here. The rain is starting to pour. We have to take this down. Thank you all for joining. Right now, there was just a lot of people that gathered here on City Hall in St. Paul, and this was the 5-year anniversary. Well, it's been 5 years since Marcus Golden was killed by St. Paul police. We have a special on Marcus Golden. If you go into Unicorn Riot Vaults, into the police category section, you'll see Marcus Golden remembered 5 years later or something. I'm not remembering the specific title. But we did a video on Marcus Golden. Marcus Golden was killed 5 years ago by St. Paul police. Today is his birthday, so today he would have been 30 years old. And a lot of folks that got up here to celebrate Marcus Golden and to remember him, to celebrate his life and remember his death. Again, he was killed by the St. Paul police. The police are the reason why people are out in the streets. The police are the reason why the National Guard is out in the streets. We'll bring the stream down to preserve our equipment from this rain. But thank you again, and thank you, Dan, on the back end. Sorry, I didn't know we were back live. And we are back live now to bring you all just this ending, which is, some kind of context as to what's happened in St. Paul. So earlier today there was a youth-led march, a youth-led rally at the Capitol. It was about 10,000 people. This had about 400. There were speeches here. I missed the beginning because we were still wrapping up at the youth-led march, youth-led rally. But we did hear Kim Handy-Jones speak. We heard Monique Cullors-Doty speak. Monique is the aunt of Marcus Golden. And so Marcus Golden, again, killed by St. Paul police 5 years ago, and
they don't got rubber bullets either.
They got 30 in the clip.
Right. Hey, let me tell you something. For them to be this close to a protest, all right, they trying to intimidate people to come out here with fear. Them guys is out here ready to kill us at any moment. At any moment, they get that call, they're gonna spray people. Them not rubber bullets up in there. What is the purpose to have a fucking National Guard motherfuckers with 30 rounds in there surrounding the people that's protesting? They talking about we protecting lives and property and some other bullshit. No, they to take away your life and protect the property before you get to it. It's time to get organized for actual revolution. Get in tune with the RevCom. Talk about Bob Bacon, revolution, nothing less. We on YouTube, the RevCom. We on Facebook, the RevCom. Go to RevComs on Instagram. Go to RevComs on Twitter. Peace out. Times I gotta go.
Oh man.
Hey, let's see, man.
So again, this was right here.
Guys.
Here you go.
Quit playing.
Yep.
I'm
Nico.
Chicago.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you. So yeah, those are M4s that the police are carrying, or that the National Guard is carrying, and they have 30-round clips in them with live fire. No joke with that. There's a lot of groups that organized this protest here, and some of the groups included Racial Justice Network, Communities United Police Brutality, Justice for Cordell Handy, Justice for Marcus Golden, Blue Lives Matter, and a few other groups. And this was right here on the left is Monique Cullors-Doty. That is the aunt of Marcus Golden. And this is Nakima Levy Armstrong on the right side. Appreciate that. I'm Nico.
Lionel.
Lionel? Yeah. Good to meet you. Where do you work with?
TRT.
TRT? Oh, word. I watch TRT.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Actually, I was following you during the riot. We got here on Friday, and I was like, Unicorn's here. We got to go there.
All right, yeah. Hey, you all do good. You do good programming when you represent from here. Like, it's not really like Turkish programming. It's like, yo, let's examine American institutions. So respect to y'all.
Yeah, man, you too, man.
Appreciate that.
Safe out here.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. That's TRT, that crew right there. I want to let them get back to doing their work and not talk too much while we're on the stream. This is the Intercontinental. I'm actually really glad that we're up right now because I want to bring. On which platform? Yes.
Hell yes.
So this is the Intercontinental Hotel that we're actually like right underneath this awning for. Thankfully, it's protecting us from the rain. So we've heard a lot of discussion about white supremacists. We've heard a lot of discussion about white nationalists coming around. We've seen it in 2015 when they trolled protests and they shot 5 unarmed black protesters. We've also seen video clips of white supremacists being around here. And being around here meaning around the protests for George Floyd, even coming in from out of town and whatnot. And so here is the Intercontinental. This is actually, it's like, it says Citizen because that's the bar that's right here, but this is the Intercontinental Hotel. This hotel has been helping house houseless people during the COVID pandemic, okay? And so that's put together by the city of St. Paul. The city of St. Paul is helping people house, not all of the houseless people, but it's helping house some houseless folks during the COVID as a response to that. Now, yesterday, 2 days ago, during a lot of upheaval and unrest, and a lot of time when the white supremacists were making moves out in the streets, meaning driving around and fully automatic guns and sort of intimidating folks or shooting at people or even possibly placing things in different places. We've seen a lot of different varying accounts as to what is happening out here and what the real case is. But we do know it's a real threat. The white supremacists are out here every now and then, and for sure are out here all the time in everyday life. Every now and then, I mean, for the protests. So back to Intercontinental. 2 days ago, as I said, this place is housing a bunch of houseless folks, and you know, hotels aren't really doing very well right now in the COVID pandemic. Well, white nationalists tried to check in. When they tried to check in, the folks at the front desk knew that they were white nationalists. From them knowing they were white nationalists, they told them that they didn't have any rooms open. And when the white supremacists left, what happened? The people here put the hotel on lockdown. It's just a heads up that people are aware that white supremacists are around. They're also aware of how to deal with it. And the other way of how to deal with it is a lot of people that have created different protection units in a way while not becoming police. We've also seen different blocks become the police in a way where they're protecting their own block, but also they're stopping others from even having a discussion about walking by their block because it becomes an authority figure. So that's just some of the quick thing about that. But and that's just my interpretation. But this here for real did happen. It's verified for sure that white nationalists did try to check in, white supremacists did try to check in the Intercontinental, and they got turned away. And then therefore the hotel went on lockdown. There's a hotel over South Minneapolis, not too far from George Floyd's murder site, at the Sheridan Hotel. And probably in the next few days or next week, we'll probably have a little special on that. Right on the other side of this is the river, the Mississippi River, and this is the scene of where a lot of things went down in RNC, the Republican National Convention in 2008, so 12 years ago, and that's basically when this city got a revamp of surveillance systems. They got a lot of money from the NSSE. NSSE is National Special Security Event. If you want to know more about National Special Security events, we've definitely dug into some. The last one that we had here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area was during the Super Bowl, and what they do is they activate a lot of different factions and different portions of the government and the militaries and the law enforcement structures, and then they have them sort of all congregate together under one roof, you could say, and that one roof is the Fusion Center, and within that they attempt to survey everything and basically squelch any kind of threat that they deem as a threat. Now, they could deem free speech as a threat. They could deem First Amendment rights as a threat. They could deem Second Amendment rights as a threat, because those are all things that they're actually trying to stop when they come to these places with the NSSE money. It's not to be like, oh, let's put this money into the community. No, it's millions of dollars that goes into the policing of the community, so that when the NSSE is gone out of here in St. Paul, who got stuck with all the money? Yeah, it's not stuck with all the money, but who was given all of the equipment and all the money? It was the police that then were able to use it against the people of St. Paul. And so that's also a thing that you see reverberate throughout the country, where you have big events that are national special security events, and you have police and you have government. The government gives tons of money, millions and millions of dollars to prop up surveillance, to get new equipment. You see, there's cameras everywhere here, and that wasn't the case before RNC. RNC propped up the St. Paul's surveillance system mightily, and it propped up their police system, and it gave them more and better equipment. And again, if you want to know more about that, check out our website, or just type in Unicorn Riot and NSSE, and I think you should come up with some results on that. But again, right here we have Monique Colors-Doty, who's speaking, and she's speaking at TRT. And Monique Colors-Doty has a picture of Marcus Golden, her nephew. Her nephew was killed by St. Paul police officers 5 years ago. Again, if you want to know more about that, we definitely did a really good special on it, if you ask me. It was very well done, and it was on Marcus Golden. Thank you.
Here, there's two in here.
Oh, sweet, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, you all want to talk at all? You just dropped off pizzas? What made you do that?
It's from Boludos.
Oh, hold on, 1 second.
Boludo empanadas. Yeah.
Oh,
They're on 38th and Nicollet, so they're right in the heart of it all.
so they donated it?
Yeah, we made them all protesters.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's all you. Yeah, that's all you. Cool. And what's the place again?
Boludos empanadas.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to help. Yeah, go for it. Thank you. Yeah.
How does it feel to get some free pizza?
Really fucking good.
So they brought it to the protest, but the protest had to get wrapped up a little early because the sky unloaded. A lot of rain. It seems like there's more rain coming, but it's not raining super hard right now. Again, this is the Intercontinental right next to us on the right side. That's the City Hall right here in St. Paul. Right down the street is right down the street is the Mississippi River. And I will say, since we're in St. Paul, we're right here in front of City Hall. I'm going to bring in, Philando was not killed by St. Paul police, but the trial of Geronimo Yanez, who killed Philando, was right here in this building. There was a few actions outside after that happened, and during the Philando case, where people met at this building and marched through downtown. Well, we found out a little bit later, we did some FOIAs, and we checked into what the police were doing with Philando protests. Who were they tracking? What were they tracking? And what we found was pretty like it was obvious what's been going on, but it was also pretty telling. It was like, whoa, okay, so the police are literally just following everybody's social media, and from that they're building cases, and they're following people and they're surveying people using their social media, as is the case. Real quick, they targeted a whole bunch of protest leaders here in St. Paul based on Facebook postings and based on their social media use. Targeted them in a multitude of ways. There was a lot of people facing charges here. The county attorney's office is beyond, right where that truck is. Beyond that was the county attorney's office, John Choi. He's the one in charge of charging the police officers. And he charged Yanez, but they weren't able to get a conviction. Anyways, this area has seen a lot of protests over the last few years, and it's seen a lot of surveillance as well. And so I just want to bring that up. I also bring up the fact that there was a few people who had their doors knocked in. One for sure, I can say, he lived in St. Louis. He went Facebook Living during the time of the unrest and looting, and when people were expropriating goods. I think he was live. He crossed the state lines to go live, and so now and to participate, excuse me, from like either St. Louis to Minneapolis and then to Chicago, I believe. And when he got back to St. Louis, this, I could be wrong a little bit about some of this, but it's a fact that what the police did was kick in his door and basically arrest him. I don't know what charges specifically. It was, crossing interstate, domestic terrorism, whatever. Who knows? I don't know what charges specifically. But we do know that one person has for surely been charged with participating in the unrest here in Minneapolis and in Chicago, based on him going Facebook Live and talking about what he was doing at the time. So we'll leave it at that. We'll continue to follow what's happening here with the George Floyd murder, with the George Floyd uprising and unrest. There is a continual presence on 38th in Chicago, where George Floyd was killed at, and that presence might clear out a little bit with the rain. But in general, the people are not going anywhere. You continually see more and more people at these events. And although the first 4 or 5 days are behind us and there's a lot less people showing their rage, the rage is still felt. You can still feel it. People are not feeling like anything is really accomplished yet. They're hopeful for a change, but they're also, you can see that they're a little trepidatious for a change. And so there you see Nikema Levy-Armstrong getting interviewed by TRT. Chantel Allen in the back. Those were all three women that were a part. Them two and Monique Colors-Doty were all three people that were a part of this organizing this rally. This rally that we missed was, we didn't really miss the whole thing. We were having some connection difficulties, and then also we were a little bit late to it as we were covering the youth. But this rally was right there in front of the city hall, and it's on the 30th birthday of Marcus Golden, who was killed 5 years ago of St. Paul police. George Floyd's case is not isolated. There are many other cases such as George's case, and a lot of the community is continuing to ring those names in and to not forget them, and also seek justice and accountability for the next ones. And so, again, thank you all for joining. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. If you have the ability or financially privileged enough, yeah, thank you so much.
You want a veggie?
Yeah, I'll take a veggie one too. Thank you, appreciate it. Again, if you have the financial privilege, you can if you like our work, you can donate through unicornriot.ninja/donate. And what that'll do is help build our general operating funds, which will help us build our organization into a way where we can then start covering a little bit more things, have the ability to get a little bit better equipment. We lost about $1,000 worth of equipment out here during this last week through the elements, through the police concussion grenades, through the tear gas, through the pepper spray, through the rain, and through the drama. So if you have the ability, financially privileged, definitely we would use the funds. The funds don't go straight into our pockets, they go straight into the general operating costs, which then is all decided by our horizontally organized nonprofit media collective. And so, again, we appreciate you all for tuning in. We appreciate your support. We appreciate the folks that are on the ground that allow us to listen to their voice and allow us to put a microphone in front of their face and allow them to speak. Without that ability for you all to trust us, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So we really appreciate it. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for joining. We're going to take the stream down, and from there, we'll be back around these next few days. Continue to follow our work at unicornriot.ninja. And then after that, we are beyond the website. We're on Instagram, unicorn.riot. We're on Twitter, UR_ninja. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube and Vimeo. Again, continue to follow our work. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be in your phone right now, on your laptop, on your desktop, on your TV, wherever we are. The rain is starting to come down here pretty hard. It's a huge storm rolling here in St. Paul, and that'll probably quell the events of the night. And so what that means is that we probably won't be coming up live again tonight. So we were sort of planning on being live at Cut Foods later on. And Cut Foods is in front of where they're the ones who called the police on George Floyd, and that's where the vigil site. Yeah. That's where the vigil site of George Floyd is. And so again, thank you. We'll bring the stream down. Thanks for Dan for running the back end on this one, and for bringing it back up to bring some more context to what's going on out here. We saw the youth out here, big, strong. Yesterday we saw families, two streams to the families. So please go check that out. Please check out a lot of our coverage. We've covered this very extensively. A lot of these people out here, a lot of these families out here, we know their story. We know them because we've heard it, and we've focused on it, and we've documented it, and we've made videos of it. We've live streamed from their events. We've edited videos from their events. We've FOIA'd things that had the responses to their protests. And so we're here for the families as well. So bless the families. Thank you all for allowing us to share your stories. And when it comes to police killings and police terror, we have a documentary called The Mothers that's going to be released someday soon in these next 6 to 12 months. It's going to be a feature-length documentary discussing or showcasing a multitude of mothers from across the country that have shared their stories of police terror and how their children have been taken from them, and how they seek accountability and justice, and also how they're turning their pain into power. So for the last time, I'll say peace. I'm out for tonight. We might be back up, but that's a very, very limited possibility. If the rain quells, we might be. Otherwise, you all take care and have a great night. And we'll probably see you tomorrow at some point. Peace.
Pressing their bodies into Floyd, hearing him plead for his life, hearing him say, I can't breathe, with triggered memories of George Floyd from the U.S. to the killed, I believe, saying the same thing. And then
This is like 6 years ago.